What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to go into tonight's basketball games. The reason I had these up is I was looking at these games, and I did find, where's it at? This one here, pretty interesting, only because someone in my Discord pointed it out. Essentially he went into, again, he in my Discord a lot of times, some good alpha will be given out, and it was basically going over how Ohio's on a winning streak. A lot of the public's on Ohio. Nobody's really liking Ball State here, and the line is kind of suspicious, even being at home. If you look at on paper, or if you look at just their records, if you look at really anything, the Ohio team has played a much better year than the Ball State team. So I do like this one. I also like the metric. Ohio is, if you look at the against the spread, 7-3. Sure, they can go to 8-3, but of course I'm always going to take the team. If it's a close one, I'm always going to fade the team that has a plus, 65-70% against the spread. Now, that's the only football game really that I love. Like I said, I don't just pick. I know there's games Tuesday through Friday, but some of them are really 50-50s. Now here, I went over this yesterday. I like Dallas to cover here. I think Luka wipes the floor with the Clippers. You see Wall's in. He'll play probably just because people want to see Wall versus Luka, but they play a couple times this year. I think in the first game, just my opinion, I think it makes sense that you give Luka his revenge. I know they played last year too, but people still remember the Clippers knocking out the Mavs. So, in my opinion, it makes sense for Luka to win this game, and to win but decisively. The other reason I like it is the same thing. If you look at the spread, we have Dallas at 3-5. They're one of the bottom teams this year. If you go to the NBA, I've shown this metric multiple times before, but if you go to the NBA spreads and you go to the bottom here, you see that in third place, third worst is Dallas. Now, the Clippers aren't much better, but they're still better than Dallas. So I do think, and it's funny how this spread line is all from ESPN's. I've noticed that. I think ESPN's been a little fishy with their spread lines, but I think Dallas, especially at home, where I don't even know if they've covered yet, I think it's going to be a lot like Golden State yesterday. I've noticed things like Golden State will do something, and then Dallas will do it the next night. And it happens with those two teams a lot. So here I like Dallas to cover. And then Grizzlies-Pelicans, I've been waiting on a spread, and I'm glad we finally have one. And now that we do, I do like the Pelicans. Again, I said this before. To me, this is a 50-50 game. So if one team I thought it was going to be like a 1-point spread. If it was much more than that, I said yesterday I was going to take the team that is giving the points, just because I think 3.5 is kind of high. I think this game, even in New Orleans, I get it, but he had Zion banged up, and the Grizzlies have had these guys, Bane and Jackson, banged up. So I don't know why now all of a sudden it's almost a 4-point favorite, where the Grizzlies haven't been underdogs in other games where they played good teams, and they have been missing Bane and Jackson in those games as well. So I think they explain away why the Grizzlies need Jackson, and it's going to be because of Zion, Valanciunas, things like that. I think Ja goes off, of course. I just don't think it's enough for them to actually win. So for both of these basketball games, I do like, mostly because of the metrics, but as I said yesterday, the Grizzlies to me look like if one of these teams was going to be getting a lot of points, it would be a trap line. So you see we do have a second leg here. I am going to go ahead and take New Orleans minus 3.5 on this one. Just because Luka does have a tendency to especially when he's getting that 6-7 points, win by exactly that. And I just trust the trap line here with the Pelicans more than I trust Luka right now. So we're going to be going Pelicans. That's a second leg. They're going to cover that 3.5. Don't forget. That's what I'm picking at least. If you want to buy, you can. I'm just choosing not to. And then sequence 138. Just so you guys have an idea, we're going Ball State. Here we're getting 3.5. So that's always nice, right? Again, you could go the money line. This one's one that I got some alpha in my Discord, and I figured we would go with it. So we got those two. And then, of course, the next one is going to be Dallas. And just to save future confusion, I'm going to do just type in Mavericks since there's multiple Dallases. I'll do the same with New Orleans. All right, so we got the Pels minus 3.5. And we're going to have Dallas here, Mavericks minus, sequence number 139. Sorry, I just figure if I do it this way, for the people that are newer, you can see exactly what I'm doing. So it's going to be the Mavericks minus, it's 6.5 now. And of course, this one again is going to be, these are all first legs. This one's to win exactly 25. And there we go. So again, nothing more than just basic metric, basic spreads, basic stories. I think Zion looks good. It's TNT. They haven't been on TNT a lot. This is a possible playoff matchup. And I think a lot of people are just going to be taking the Grizzlies. So I do like, as I said before, the Pels. I like the Mavs to cover. So both home teams. Then we get to the Knicks Jazz. And this one, I really like the Knicks. It's another one where now they've been pretty good against the spread. But again, look at the Jazz against the spread. That's not holding. And at the same time, I think people are still looking at the Knicks as a 30 to 35 win team, where I'm seeing them as closer to a 38 to 44 win team. And I'm not seeing the Jazz anywhere near 45, 50 wins like they've started out. So here's a perfect one where, you look at the injuries. Robinson's actually a good player for the Knicks, but they got a lot of good young players. So getting 4.5 and what I believe to be essentially a 50-50 game, because I think the Knicks are better than people have indicated this year. I do expect the Knicks to cover that spread. And again, that's another one where just a flat-out win would not surprise me, to be honest. But that's going to be... And I'm playing these games because I told you a few days ago I liked Tuesday's games. There wasn't a lot of them, but there was enough that I thought they were all pretty good. We didn't have a bunch of them, not a lot of rematches, a few. And we're just going to hit them all in order, honestly, because I do like all of these games. See, now here we got an interesting one, because we got the Blazers, and look at their record against the spread. We see the metric, and then we got the Spurs over here. Now, the Spurs just got clobbered by the Clippers. They have been spoiling spreads this year. But I look at the Blazers, and they're missing a few players, obviously. GP's been out, but now the Nurk's out again, and they're missing Keon. So their guards are getting dwindled a little bit, as you can see. But I don't understand the 8.5. I really don't. I think yesterday's odds made more sense. Think about it. San Antonio is playing the Clippers in LA. And I think the Clippers were giving up something like 6. I could be wrong. So to me, 8.5 is a little steep. It makes me feel like, again, we know the Blazers are awesome. But the public might be looking at this and saying, oh, well, 8.5. Maybe if it was, Golden State. Maybe if it was Boston. Maybe it was a team doing really, really good this year. Not Portland. Not a team that, that a lot of people have in the same category as the Jazz. And I've been trying to say, earlier in the season I faded them twice, even though I have them winning the West. And my reason was, well, these look like trap lines. But then I realized, I don't think they're trap lines. I just think most of the public is going to see this the opposite as me. So while I think it's a trap that the Blazers, it looks like they're making the Blazers give away too much points here compared to the Clippers the other day. I think a lot of the public's just seeing all the Blazers suck and they're not going to cover the 8.5. Now, I could be wrong. It's kind of hard trying to guess where the other public is, but, we can't use Vegas Insider. They're inaccurate. So I have to use my gut for that. And we might as well just continue down the list and do our last one. Fun fact, we almost played every game yesterday. The only one we did not play was the Magic. And we did win every but one. So I think, why not do them all again, right? And to me, this is a layup, no pun intended. Kyrie or Nets all day. I'll take them just for the little couple extra odds. I'm going to take a minus, or actually they're getting to. So I'm going to take them with the money line, of course. And to me, it's very simple. Yes, they played the Lakers and lost. But, again, they're playing the Lakers without LeBron. And they're trying to tell their own story. So, that being said, now we're getting the story of Kyrie. And it just makes sense to me that a perfect trap as well, a team like the Kings, you're going to have public saying, oh, no Kyrie? Oh, the Kings? And they're going to go ahead and take, and I promise you, just in my opinion, they're going to take the Kings. The Kings are at home, not a great team, but they've been spoiling spreads, and again, it's the Nets without Kyrie, without Ben. The public doesn't look at it like we do. They look at it, oh my God, it's just Durant. That's all the public's looking at. They're not looking at the fact that it's rigged, and they're going to play better without Kyrie, and his backup's been outperforming him. So, that being, even now, look at Claxton. Not Claxton. His name's, it's not Seth, it's the other guy. It starts with Sumner or something. He's been doing pretty darn good, this Sumner guy. He's not in here. But anyway, his backup has been playing well. We'll see what he did the last couple games. Like I said, he hasn't been amazing, but he's come in, and I think his first game in is when he really came in and just shined. Let's see. I think it was Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. No, it must have been I think it was Saturday. This was the first game he came in, I think. And you can see they won big. And this backup who, barely plays. Yeah, came in. Okay, he got 11 points. We got another 22 out of Seth, as you can see. So what I'm saying is I think they're going to find a way to get people to score. They'll find a way to make that happen. So I do like the Nets to win that money line, which closes out our picks. And I think it's a good one. I like having kind of even home and away teams. I don't know why. I'm just a little superstitious that way. So again, Pelicans cover. Mavericks cover. Knicks cover. Blazers cover and Nets cover. Now, we're going to make the Blazers and Nets, and possibly we're going to leave the Knicks a first sequence. But if Grizz or Mavs fall through, I am looking at the Nets as a second leg, and maybe Portland. But the Nets I trust the most as a second leg. Now we're going to go and see if we missed anything. Okay, nothing too crazy here. Aha. So, again, it's not guaranteed. It's not something and they did just hit the over, the Clippers. But again, 21%, not holding. You could say the same about Portland. So, with the same logic as yesterday, where we just simply split the over-unders because we knew one was going to hit. We knew they weren't both going to miss. We're going to do the same thing. So Clippers, again, probably getting close to the same. They were getting 220 before, now they're getting 212. So it's dropped a little bit. I could see a lot of people hammering this over, so I'm not loving it, but I do think that it covers. So sequence 144 is going to be the Clippers over. And again, to me, it's just because these metrics don't hold up. They never have. They never will. You might go through a streak of a team doing a certain number against the over or under, but you're not going to see a team just go 10, 15%. You might have like one college team out of 150 that does it. You're not going to see it in the NBA. So Portland's another great one because they can go over. So I do like the over there, almost more than Portland themselves. But I'm just going to go ahead and take the over since we already have them. And here I'm guessing it's around 220 as well. That's usually like where they set it, around 226. Okay. So we're going over 226. And like I said, my goal here is for us to basically split the over-unders, right? And again, these I haven't chosen my over-unders yet. So these might not be exact numbers. I might wind up paying 27, for 23, whatever. But I try and get it as close as I can so you guys get the idea. It's not always going to be exactly 25 with the juice. But yeah, so for the overs, I like the Clippers and the Blazers. And I'm looking at the Celtics, as I said yesterday, to fade them next time and pick the under when they play next. But this is who I like, and I'll give credit. And again, I'm not saying, it's always going to be 100% right. But so for just because of alpha in the Discord, and I've just literally given a pick because of somebody said, hey, this team's going to win. This is the information I got. We're 2-0. So let's hope we go to 3-0 with Ball State here. Covering. I'm taking them to cover. If you want the money line, you can, but I'm taking them to cover. And let's see if we can continue our success as we had yesterday with the NBA. Oh, and I don't want to forget Zach Miles, my man. I know you told me, and I'm not going to forget it. So, Maple Leafs, right here. You can see getting good odds, getting 50-50 odds, and we're going to go ahead and take the Maple Leafs. And not just because I trust you guys. And this man, Zach, on a few occasions, has told me, hey, this team, the Devils are going to win, or hey, the Penguins are going to lose. And sure enough, not because I didn't listen, just because I don't know hockey that well, and we had a lot of picks going on. Just to win here, no puck line, nothing like that. And he's told me, and then sure enough, I checked the score, and it's like 4-1. The team handedly won. That's another reason I like the Discord, is you can get that kind of stuff out a lot easier. But so I do like the Maple Leafs to win, and again, whether they do or don't, I'm not going to say, someone giving me. No, I always make my own decisions, but I do think that Zach has a point. I looked at the spreads, I looked at the divisions, and I don't think that, especially in hockey, it's actually usually pretty damn straightforward. So if there's anyone, I think that's a good one to go with, who should win, and based off his assessment, I agree with him. But of course, most of our eyes are going to be on the NBA. For me, it's specifically my second leg and then the others. But I think these are going to be some fun playoff preview games. I think they make New Orleans look really strong because they don't need the Pelicans to look strong. And I just think a lot of people are going to be taking the Clippers here with the 6.5. Same thing with the Jazz. I don't think people see the Knicks yet as a play-in team. Again, I don't think they have the Blazers at the top of the West like I do. And I don't think people understand the Nets are probably going to do better without Kyrie. So that's my logic. Hopefully I had enough data as we're getting close to the games. Take care, everybody, and happy earnings.